That's bananas, man. That is crazy. That's crazy.
An armed home invasion at an Airbnb rental turned into a shootout in Osceola County that happened earlier this month in the Champions Gate area of Davenport. The sheriff says 5 people are now behind bars. As West Show's Justin Shecker found out, deputies are increasing their presence in the popular tourist area.
An old Wild Wild West shootout inside the house. And miraculously, nobody was shot. Nobody was injured. A lot of damage to the house.
These photos of bullet holes in the walls show the aftermath of an armed home invasion that turned into a shootout on November 5th at an Airbnb rental on Leaders Street in the Champions Gate area.
Back door, the sliding glass doors were shot out. There was bullet holes throughout the house.
I noticed that about Airbnbs. A lot of Airbnbs have sliding glass doors and the locks be fucked up. Like we had an Airbnb where we had to put a piece of wood at the bottom of the sliding glass door because the lock wouldn't lock. And then we came back months later and it was still like that. A lot of the people who I got Airbnbs from lived in other countries. They were overseas. So if you call them, they got to send somebody. Send a locksmith or some shit. Or send a handyman over there. They not even in the city, in the States. Please take the challenge, man. Support the channel, guys. Support tonight's programming. We need 20 people to sponsor tonight's show. We got 2 so far, man. We need 20 people to sponsor tonight's show programming, man. Let me drop the link, man. Drop the link, man. Ooh, all that I got is you. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. That's crazy, man. These sons, man.
These photos of bullet holes in the walls show the aftermath of an armed home invasion that turned into a shootout on November 5th at an Airbnb rental on Leaders Street in the Champions Gate area.
Back door, the sliding glass doors were shot out. There was bullet holes throughout the house, numerous.
Osceola County Sheriff Christopher Blackman says a teenage victim told deputies that a group of men dressed in black and wearing ski masks approached her outside the home.
They come up to her at gunpoint, took her back inside the house and was trying to do the home invasion. But they didn't know inside there was other guys inside with guns as well.
Deputies searching the neighborhood arrested these 2 suspects after the victim positively identified them. They were
Yo, this one right here, man. It's some chromosomes missing with him, man. His mom, yeah, man. Something happened, man. She was drinking or something. I don't know what the she was doing. She did something, man. He don't look right, man. That one don't look right, man. I'm hoping it wasn't his idea, man. I hope y'all ain't follow him. Tell me you didn't follow him. Like hey, man, I got an idea. Like, what? Hope y'all was smart enough not to follow him. Gee.
Booked into the Osceola County Jail on aggravated assault, shooting in an occupied dwelling, grand theft, and armed robbery charges. The sheriff says 3 other suspects were located and arrested this week in Orange County.
No, our criminal investigation division spent a lot of hours with research and search warrants, getting information we needed to lead us to these other 3 people.
Sheriff Blackman tells West his deputies have stepped up patrols in the popular tourist area with a lot of short-term rentals. He says recently they've had multiple calls for home invasions.
So I would say to any tourists that are down in that area, be careful. You know, you're in Florida and you're on vacation, stay alert, stay vigilant. And to the people that live there, if you see something out of the norm, say something, let us know.
The sheriff says his detectives are investigating whether these 5 men could be suspects in the other home invasion.
This one right here, special needs gang, man. These are the special needs gang. God damn, bro. Look at this motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Yo, slow gang. Yo, damn.
We're following tonight. 2 people are dead after a Thanksgiving Day shooting in the Union Park area of Orlando.
A man in his 30s and a woman in her 40s are dead. And then another man in his 40s has been taken into custody.
This all happened around 4:20 at an apartment complex just off Rouse Road. West Show's Haley Krummelholm is outside of that complex for us tonight. Haley.
So right now, a pretty significant portion of this side of the complex still taped off with crime scene tape hours after this happened. Behind me here, you can see behind that crime scene tape, we've still got a crime scene investigations van out here. We keep moving to the left. You can see a chunk of police cruisers that are back there behind some more crime scene tape. Now, at this point, the only thing the Orange County Sheriff's Office is telling us about the people who were killed and the suspect is their ages. They are not saying what connection, if any, they had to each other. We spoke with a number of people that live here in the complex. They said this is something you don't want to see happen any day, but certainly not on Thanksgiving Day.
It was just a shocker.
I just came from Thanksgiving and I see the police tape like this. So I just assumed that it has to be something really bad because it wouldn't be like blocked off like this.
Families coming and going from Thanksgiving gatherings at an apartment complex on Cedar Bend Circle just off Rouse Road were met by around a dozen cruisers belonging to the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
I just assumed it's murder.
According to the Sheriff's Office, a shooting around 4:20 left 2 people dead. A man in his 30s died here at the complex. A woman in her 40s was taken to the hospital, but she didn't survive.
It's pretty devastating to have that happen today and on Thanksgiving.
It's uneasy. You know what I mean? It's very uneasy.
By 7:30, the Sheriff's Office confirmed they had a suspect, a man in his 40s, in custody.
And I hope it's the right person.
No, the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
What the does that mean? You hope it's the right person? The does that mean? Terrible, man. Hope it's the right person. Like, what the does that mean?
This says that what happened here, it's still very much under investigation. We're going to stay on top of this. As soon as we have any updates, any new information, we're going to bring that to you on air and online at WESH.com. Covering Orange County Live, Haley Krubelholm, WESH 2 News.
How do you know?
Oh, yeah, this guy. Another hombredo.
Ethan, do you have any words you want to share? Ethan, what happened? People died. Are you sorry? Where have you been the last 4 months? Were you the one holding the gun?
You look mad.
You got nothing to do with that.
Nothing?
What happened then?
What do you mean?
This is your chance to tell your side. You have nothing to say.
Say something.
Where have you been the last 4 months? 5 people died.
Are you remorseful? How do you feel about it?
This is your last chance to say your side, Ethan.
That hombredo don't care, man. He dreamt of doing a life sentence in prison. He dreamt of that shit. He dreamt of that shit. Going to the pen and doing a life sentence. Them hombredos be crazy like that, man. They do. Look at his eyes. Look how crazy he look.
The person you just saw now is Ethan Michael Gonzalez, 19 years of age, SID number 1159755. And he is currently being charged with 5 counts of manslaughter, 5 counts of hit and run death, and there are dozens of felony charges still pending. This incident dates back to July 17th, 2025 at IH-35 southbound in Casson Road, where there was a major accident involving a stolen white Camaro, an 18-wheeler, and a bus with multiple passengers. The stolen Camaro was traveling at approximately 105 miles per hour and was seen swerving in and out of lanes prior to the crash. At the time, there were 4 people seen fleeing from the Camaro. 2 people died on scene, 3 more people died at the hospital, and 15 others were injured with serious bodily injury. Detectives worked tirelessly and effortlessly to attempt to try to identify the suspect. DNA evidence came back matching Gonzalez to that Camaro. There was also ring camera footage that shows Gonzalez at an apartment complex following the crash. And Gonzalez's cell phone was able to be pinned back at the location of the crash at the time of the incident. At this time, we'd love to acknowledge the hard work of the detectives from our traffic investigation unit, our homicide unit, our covert unit, the U.S. Marshals, and Medina County, all in assisting in the arrest of Gonzalez today. Our hearts truly go out to all the families involved in this tragedy, and this is simply a reminder that these detectives are working so hard to bring justice to these families, no matter the time frame. This is also a huge reminder that speeding can cause serious bodily injury.
Yeah, man. He killed 5 people.
Common courtesy from a greeter inside this Chili's is what set this entire incident in motion.
They're hitting me in my head, they're hitting me in my body, they're hitting me everywhere.
It started last week when a group known only as J Party of 6 didn't like the wait time.
Get sad, I said it's gonna be another 30 minutes. They were upset. They started yelling. They were like 30 minutes and like just being aggressive.
As they walked out, Brianna Drew set the same line she gives every customer.
They decided they were going to leave. I was like, all right, you all enjoy the rest of your day. And they assumed that I was being sarcastic and trying to like play with them. But I was just, that's brand standard.
But Fox Chicago obtained video showing what happened next. A brutal beating inside the Chili's at Marshville Plaza, located in the 1700 block of West 119th Street.
The rest of her party, they came rushing back in the restaurant and they all kind of just attacked me.
The 19-year-old single mother was first hit by a woman, and then a man joined in.
What do you see when you look at this? Chaos. It was a lot. I don't even remember all.
Animals. 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 That's what you see, baby. Just go on and say it, man. Go on and say it, man. You see animals, man. Sponsor the show. Take the challenge. Take the challenge. Sponsor tonight's programming. We're looking for 20 people to step up and take the challenge tonight. Sponsor tonight's program. That'll be very nice. She got her ass beat. She got her ass beat, man. I feel sorry for her, man.
It's happening.
Chicago police were called, but by the time officers arrived, the attackers were gone. The damage, physical and emotional, is not.
Because my head was so sore, I couldn't touch it to take out my hair. And then I have more back here.
Drew has worked at this location for 2 years. She's been off the job for a week, trying to process what happened, and says Chili's needs to add security.
I just want to know, how will they move forward? How will they fix that? How will they avoid that happening again?
We reached out to Chili's for a comment, and so far, we haven't heard back. As for Drew, she's bruised but not broken.
At no point did I threaten anyone. At no point did I say that I was going to do anything. I was quiet. They could have just left, but they came. They all decided to come back in and attack me.
And says she did nothing wrong and wants J Party of 6 to be arrested and charged.
I can't believe it's something like this happened to me, because if you ask anybody, I'm nice. Everybody says I'm nice. The regulars, they love me.
As for Brianna Drew, she says that Chili's is conducting their own investigation and Chicago police are too. From Morgan Park, Tia Ewing, Fox 32 Chicago.
Well, President Trump sounding off on Chicago following a string of violent crimes, including the 26-year-old woman set on fire on a train last week.
They burned this beautiful woman riding in a...
I was waiting for Trump to speak on this. Salute, man. I was like, man, when is he going to speak on that, man?
They burned this beautiful woman riding in a train. A man was arrested 72 times. We could make Chicago a safe city in a period of 4 weeks. And if you look at the crime that's taken place in Chicago in the last 2 weeks, just take a look. It's on the front page of every newspaper. It's out of control.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson acknowledged the city's shortfalls following a separate fatal shooting incident on Friday after the city's Christmas tree lighting. Watch.
What we put in place did not do enough to prevent what we were concerned about from actually manifesting.
Let's bring in Chicago Alderman Raymond Lopez. Raymond, that acknowledgement by Mayor Johnson is a different sort of tag. We haven't heard that from him before, but why is he doing that now, and what's your reaction?
Well, Griff, good morning. I think the reason that the mayor's pivoting now is that he understands that Chicagoans are fed up with his failures, and he knows that Election Day is less than 8 months from today. You know, he can say and try to pivot all he wants, but all of these failures come right back to his doorstep. The blood is on his hands for what we've seen happen this weekend, because when it came to the teen takeover and the 300 individuals.
Yeah, we know it's Brandon Johnson's fault. We pretty much know that. Lori life with everyone in that city. Damn shame.
All right, this was a chaotic scene in a typically quiet Queens neighborhood over the weekend. A mob of people taking over the streets by driving wildly, and things only escalated from there when they set a car on fire and physically attacked homeowners who tried to intervene. Here's more from that scene and a warning. This footage may be disturbing for some viewers.
Yo,
And as that violent unrest carried on, residents were apparently told to call a quality of life team and not the NYPD, leading to some major questions over what is to come once the next mayor takes office. Joining me now to discuss is former New York City Republican Councilman Joe Borelli. Joe, it's good to see you. So this all happened at 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, and some of the residents who tried to intervene were beat up, one so badly that this mob broke his rib and nose and even punched his wife. Who are these people and why is this happening?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that even people who try to correct this behavior end up worse in this situation. But this is sort of a new trend. We're seeing this happen on TikTok and Instagram and social media, where people sort of take over a street and do all sorts of dangerous car tricks just to get attention. Unfortunately, this incident escalated beyond that when this neighbor came out and said, "Hey, maybe you don't want to cause a ruckus in front of my house at 2:30 in the morning." But this is sort of the lawlessness that we could expect to see when police departments are defunded, when recruitment is down, when the number of overall officers decreases, because there were calls to the police department that night. And unfortunately, the precinct that covers this area simply did not have enough officers to.
Yeah, man, we gotta let's see what's going
Are
on.
now
Here.
patrolling a quiet neighborhood in Queens after a violent street takeover over the weekend. We're also getting our first look at the suspects. Eyewitness News reporter Phil
good.
Tate is
Let's see the
live
suspect,
in Malva,
man.
Queens, with an update. Good morning, Phil.
They saying that they white Hispanics. Online, the FBAs are saying this is a Hispanics. It's not blacks that did this. He could be right. They could be
Tanya,
right.
good morning. And for neighbors early Sunday morning, their front doorstep looked like something out of Fast and Furious. That says more than 100 onlookers had showed up to this intersection right behind me to see drivers doing donuts and speeding all around. It was when one homeowner asked this group to leave that it ended with a violent attack. And this morning, the NYPD releasing these images now on your screen as they're looking for these two people that they'd like to talk to. Well, that's after this quiet Malva street erupted with chaos. This neighborhood became the epicenter of violence, even with one neighborhood security guard's car that was taken and set on fire. This morning, that homeowner's arm is in a sling after being attacked while on the front of his own lawn during the street takeover, saying he was completely surrounded at one point before being beat up. While he's suffering a fractured shoulder, ribs, and a fractured bone in the face, we spoke with the homeowner recounting those terrifying moments.
There was probably 4 to 5 cars in front of my house with multiple kids and all starting to walk like on the property, on the grass or what have you. They were congregating. I was trying to watch my back because I knew there was people behind me. And the next thing I knew, I got hit from behind, went down, tried to cover up my face as much as possible.
Just some scary moments there. And the victim told us that cops initially took too long to respond to the mayhem. This morning, as you're taking a live look, cops are in the area and have been patrolling, just ensuring that this Malva neighborhood is safe. You can also see some of those tire marks at this intersection. It's a reminder as to what happened here just on Sunday morning. But if anyone recognizes those two suspects that police have shared in those images, you are asked to give them a call right away. We're live in Malva, Queens. I'm Phil Tate, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Phil, thank you.
Now, this all happened in late October, and now this week, 3 men, including a 15-year-old juvenile, are behind bars facing robbery charges. Now, this took place here in this SF supermarket here off of Stockton Boulevard here in South Sacramento. Now, I do want to warn you, the video you're about to see shows a 57-year-old woman being dragged by the vehicle, and Sacramento County Sheriff's Office are now saying that now is the time to be vigilant and aware.
This is video from October 22nd outside of the SF supermarket on Stockton Boulevard. Deputies say a 57-year-old victim was loading groceries when a car pulled up and a juvenile got out and grabbed her purse. As she fought back, detectives say the teen jumped back into the car while still holding the bag, and when the driver took off, she was dragged several yards as well.
This was a straight up robbery. This is by force or fear. Those are the statutes in the penal code that make it not a petty theft or a shoplifting. Like, this is a very egregious, violent act.
This week, robbery detectives arrested all 3 suspects, a male juvenile, 23-year-old James Freeman, and 22-year-old Anthony Richard. Investigators say Richard was already out on a previous robbery arrest and was actually headed to court for a different case when that happened. I spoke with the manager of SF Supermarket, who wasn't aware of the robbery, but says they have security on the premises during store hours. Shoppers outside say hearing about these crimes is normal.
Oh my gosh.
You hear about it, you don't really see it, but you hear about it all the time for sure. Everybody's struggling, and it's the last thing you would think, especially now that it's time for us to be coming together instead of, going down to these roads of violence. That's horrible.
The sheriff's office says this is the kind of crime they're continuing to crack down on, but say laws need to catch up.
We're still going to chase them. We're still going to take them to jail. But this is a failure in the legislature where they've got to start taking violent crimes seriously again.
And they say these cases affect everyone.
When we say we're chasing a robber, that's who we're chasing. That's the person he victimized. That could have been your mom, your sister, your wife. It could have been anybody. But it's not just women. It's not just the elderly. It's not just kids. It's everybody. You've got to look out for yourself first.
And for people who ask what they should do if this happens to them, Sergeant Gandhi says protecting yourself matters most.
My biggest piece of advice, again, always be aware of your surroundings, but ultimately, if they get the jump on you, give up your stuff. All of that can be replaced.
And since I've been out here, I've seen several patrol vehicles and security just kind of going through the area, making sure everyone is safe. Those two men are expected in front of a judge tomorrow. And as far as the woman goes, she was unable to get her belongings back, and she did suffer minor injuries. And again, the Sac County Sheriff's Department is just warning folks, if you see something, say something. Live in South Sacramento, covering local news that matters, Cedric Hood, Fox 40 News.
Well, we've got an exclusive inside look tonight at an operation that really helped find more than 100 missing children in Florida.
Well, the U.S. Marshals led a 2-week operation with local law enforcement to find critically missing and endangered children. Our Fox 13's Genevieve Curtis spent 2 days riding along with the Marshals and a team of detectives who were working tirelessly to recover these missing children. So, Genevieve, you really got to look inside that search and the operation.
Yeah, Allie, there's just so much work that goes into an operation of this size. 122 kids recovered during this operation.
Why is this not big news? Why is this not big news, man? Why is this not huge news? Why is this not all over the place, man? They just found 100 kids, man.
So much work that goes into an operation of this size. 122 kids recovered during this operation, ages 2 to 17. And that doesn't happen.
Yo, that's insane, man. I know there's a lot more out there. I'm not saying that I think that this, like, they solved the problem enough. That's commendable, man. 122 kids found that, who knows, God knows what the people who were in their that they were in their custody of. God knows what happened, man, to these kids, man. This should be a
without extensive resources and work by law enforcement we spent 2 days with the Marshals and a task force in Pinellas County, seeing firsthand what it takes to bring missing kids home.
So as these kids spend more time on the street, they become more desperate. They get your worst nightmares. I'm a father, so police department, anybody home? The thought of having one of my kids either run away or be taken is like that's the thing of nightmares.
Those nightmares, investigators say, are happening in plain sight to Florida's children.
So you have not spoken to your daughter at all today?
Since 2015, the U.S. Marshals have been on a mission to recover critically missing kids. Over the course of 2 weeks, they teamed up with local law enforcement from Tampa, Hillsborough County, Pinellas County, and Pasco County, as well as St. Pete, to find kids in dangerous situations.
Can you guys take the Sunrise address?
That's unbelievable, man. Good that they found those kids, man. Let's see this story, man. This guy got his ass kicked, man. This guy got his ass kicked, man, by these kids, man. It's like every day we see. It's like every day, You would think that as much as we covered that 12-year-old, look at this kid. That's the 12-year-old. That's the 12-year-old. That's a 12-year-old involved in the beating of this man. He survived 9/11. This guy survived 9/11. He survived 9/11, but he couldn't survive 6 niggas. A former World Trade Center worker who narrowly escaped the September 11th 2001 terror attacks has been beaten to death by 3 teens, one of whom was just 12 at the time of the attack. Long Island native Robert Borkham, 64. Jesus Christ. He was found with blood pooled around his head and a blood trail extending down the sidewalk. That's a lynching, right? That sounds like a lynching to me, man. That sounds like a lynching to me, man. Jesus Christ.
Are now charged in a
Tonight, 3 teenagers are now charged in a brutal attack that left a man dead in downtown Jacksonville.
Imagine surviving the 9/11 tragedy, only to lose your life years later in a senseless attack. Today, we remember the life of Roger Borkham, a compassionate man, a former World Trade Center worker, and a devoted husband, whose story is both inspiring and heartbreaking. Roger Lawrence Borkham, 64, originally from Syosset, New York, spent his life as a skilled computer consultant. He worked on the 77th floor of Tower 1 of the World Trade Center, but was let go from his job in July 2001, just 2 months before the September 11th attacks. Many of his coworkers tragically perished, but Roger narrowly escaped. He went on to work as a consultant, even developing a calendar app for Lotus Notes. He was known for his strong ethics, curiosity, and deep passion for philosophy and doing what was right. He cared deeply for family, friends, and even his dogs, Denise, Salt, and Pepper. Roger deeply loved his wife, Celeste Borkham. Sadly, Celeste passed away during a humanitarian trip to Africa, leaving Roger
Holy sh**. Did you hear that? Press 1 if you heard that.
Celeste Borkham, Sad and Pepper. Roger deeply loved his wife, Celeste Borkham. Sadly, Celeste passed away during a humanitarian trip to Africa, leaving Roger heartbroken. But now, in another tragic turn, Roger himself has died in a horrifying way. On the night of October 19th, in downtown Jacksonville, Florida, Roger was found severely beaten. According to police, witnesses saw 3 teens kicking and stomping him. He was left bleeding, with blood pooled around his head and a trail leading down the sidewalk. Reports say the attackers rummaged through his backpack and even returned minutes later to assault him again. The suspects, Justin Curry, 13, Markavian Lacey, 19, and Robert Pope, 17, were arrested within hours. They were all indicted for murder on November 20th. One of the teens allegedly claimed that Roger had dissed their dead homies, but no further explanation was given. Roger was known by those.
Holy sh**. He dissed their dead homie. You know what? I'm having a hard time believing that. I'm having a hard time believing Roger Borkham dissed their dead homies. I'm having a hard time believing that, man. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Roger Borkham dissed their dead homie. I don't know. Roger Borkham dissed my dead homies, man. Yo, it's cracking, Roger Borkham. Hey, yo, where that nigga Roger Borkham at, yo? Man, where that nigga Roger Borkham at, man? Yo, the whole hood looking for Roger Borkham, man. That nigga Roger Borkham keep playing, man. If he keep playing, man, we want to ride on Roger Borkham. He keep dissing the homies. Come on, man. You niggas is crazy, man. You niggas gotta be crazy. Yeah, I'm not buying that Roger Borkham dissed their dead homies.
One of the teens allegedly claimed that Roger had dissed their dead homies, but no further explanation was given. Roger was known by those close to him as compassionate, ethical, and intellectual. He believed in doing the right thing, even when it was hard. He survived 9/11, but sadly, he could not survive this senseless violence. Roger is survived by his sister, brother, nephews, extended family, and friends, and is now reunited with his beloved wife, Celeste Borkham. A funeral service was held on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025, at Congregation Beth El in Bangor, followed by burial at Beth El Cemetery. Roger survived what many could not, but his life ended in a way no one should ever face. May he and Celeste rest in peace. If you found this story moving, please like, share, and help spread awareness against violence.
Again, son violence. That's sad, man, Roger. Damn, Roger. Jesus Christ, niggas, man. Let's see if we can some people